Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So we're keeping the train going. We're trying to do as many daily uploads 5 days a week as possible. So if you guys like the amount of content I'm putting out, definitely let me know so I can keep it up. If you think it's a little bit too much to keep up with, also let me know what you think about that. So what we're doing today is we're covering card by card, every single card in both the new starter decks. This is the Masquerade starter deck as well as the new Imperial starter deck. Both these starter decks are like literally meta warping decks. Both of them pretty much equally, honestly. They're both just absolutely insane. They will define the next meta of BT8, EX2, and even into BT9. These decks still see a tremendous amount of play. So if you want a good investment, I can just tell you right now before the video even begins, whichever one you prefer, definitely pick up 2 copies of them and you will be set. Also, our new memory marker that we have out is Demi vmon. So if you're rocking some Imperial this format, or you will be rocking armors, this is a super great memory marker. This is handmade out of clay by my wife, hand painted as well. Like, honestly, probably the best memory marker we've ever had on the channel. We've had some real awesome ones, let me tell you, but this literally takes every skill that she's ever obtained on this channel making memory markers and cultivated it into this beautiful little guy. This is absolutely wonderful. You can find that on our Etsy page, link in the description below, as well as all the previous memory markers we've had on the channel. You can find those there as well, and some of our Battle Ready Inc. merch. All right, so we're going to jump in here. We're going to take on the Masquerade deck first here. For those of you who are not aware, I should also just kind of cover what Masquerade does. This is going to be the primary center of the deck right here. This is the main focus of what our goal is here. So we'll hit that first. Digivolution cost 5 on yellow or 5 on purple. You will pretty much never normal evolve this onto a level 5 like a standard evolution. Instead, what we're going to do is this new form of evolution called DNA Digivolution. So as long as you have those 2 on field, you can DNA Digivolve together for a 0 cost into Masquerade. Now you might think that might be a little difficult to get 2 level 5s on field at the same time, but don't worry, this deck is great at mitigating how difficult it is. So when digivolving, place 1 yellow or purple Digimon card from your trash on top of your security stack face down. So that's step 1 right there. So if you did normal evo, if you evoed for 5 like normal, you could essentially get recovery by placing a yellow or purple Digimon, whatever level you want, from your trash on top of your security. If you did a normal evo, you could do that. However, if you DNA Digivolve, you can do that effect and then this next part as well. When DNA Digivolving, you may search your security stack for 1 level 5 or lower Digimon card and play it without paying its memory cost, then shuffle your security stack. So you put that first part, you put the Digimon in the security stack. Step 2, if you DNA Digivolve, you can also then search your security and then play out any level 5 you want to. That's yellow or purple. So that's just incredibly powerful. So stack for 1 level or lower Digimon card and pay it. So it doesn't actually have to be purple or yellow. Just the one you pick to go into security has to be, but whatever you want to play out, you can play out whatever color you want, as long as it's level 5 or lower. Very powerful stuff. Just getting free level 5s on field is very good. Purple has some of the most fantastic on-play level 5s that this game has to offer. Back in the day, we had Chimeramon for some good popping. Now we have targets like Lucymon fall down mode to pop any level 6 or lower, or Tamer. I mean, that's a fantastic choice. I know a lot of people are working that into this deck for their own builds. Stuff like Cerberusmon Werewolf mode is a really powerful card if you can figure out some really cool combos with that, as well as just all the yellow targets that we're going to play for your level 5 targets that you can play with this. Stuff like Magna Angemon, the new Angelwomon as well. Some great stuff there. I think, yeah, we'll cover her as well. She's in this deck. And then it doesn't even stop there. Like, that alone is incredible. But all turns, when you play another Digimon using an effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon whose level is less than or equal to the played Digimon's level. And this is all turns. So if something hits in your security that lets you play a Digimon for free, awesome. You just get to then use your Masquerade ability to pop something. I mean, just every time you play something with an effect, you get to use Masquerade to pop something of that level or lower. The baby of Neroman, when attacking, if you have a yellow Digimon in play, draw one, then trash one. So draw one, trash one. Purple has done this forever. This isn't really anything too new, except for it's when attacking, which is pretty nice. You can combo this really neat and nicely with some other when attacking cards, like the gatomon, I believe, is also when attacking. So that's neat. Just another form of draw one, trash one for purple. I think this is just a really good, just generic baby when it whatever kind of deck you want to throw it into. Next, we got the alomon here. This is the new form of evoing here, so we can evo on top of yellow or purple babies with this alomon. So really good in a deck that is multicolored. So just kind of be able to work it into whatever kind of deck you want. If it's a purple deck, you can put her in there, and as long as the level 4s can also evo on top of yellow, you're in a really good position. Which in this deck, and with the build you want to go for with this inheritable, is completely like on par with what you're planning. So inheritable, end of your turn, you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play into a Digimon card in your hand by paying its DNA Digivolve cost. So this is basically how you get into your Masquerade. So you evo up into a yellow or purple level 5, and then you hard play a yellow or purple level 5 to pass turn. When you pass turn by playing that second level 5, the alomon ability kicks in and immediately lets you DNA Digivolve. So like I said, there was ways to mitigate getting 2 level 5s on field, because yeah, getting 2 on field at the same time without your opponent like deleting them is kind of tricky. Alomon here is perfect. Now 4 of is not enough to build a whole deck around, I don't think. That's very tricky, but thankfully we have the gatomon over here, which has the exact same inheritable. So exactly the same. That's so perfect because that essentially gives us 8 copies in the deck that allow us to DNA Digivolve after we pass turn. So that's fantastic. I'm glad they thought through on that and like doubled us up. So 8 targets for this very pivotal strategy for the deck is perfect. In addition to that, though, so we got the ability to evo on top of yellow or purple, which is, again, really, really great for this deck. So we can mix and match our rookies. I think that's really important about these Masquerade decks is if you want to go with a yellow package, yellow rookie package, you can do that. If you want to go with a purple rookie package, you can do that. Whatever like fits the bill best for you. And alomon there kind of fitting into either. If you want to go all yellows, all purples, a mix and match, alomon can fit into either of them. So gatomon also being able to do that as well. And you also notice this is duo color. So this is yellow and purple. This is a big new thing for this format is duo colors if you're not aware. So if you need a purple to activate cards, you have a purple in play. If you need a yellow in play, you have a yellow in play. It's whatever you need. It can be that. It can be both at the same time. So if you have a card that needs a yellow and a purple Digimon on field and you only have a gatomon, you're still covered. You got both targets covered right there. Same with evoing. But on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 yellow Digimon card, and 1 purple Digimon card among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in order or any order. This is amazing. Like an on play, being able to add 1 purple and 1 yellow, that's great. This can just fit into so many different decks on that effect alone. Honestly, that's super powerful. So one of the other searchers in here is only for like angel types in all the different forms of the angel types. This is just being anything yellow, anything purple. If you want to just run this in some other deck that's completely unrelated to Masquerade, you can play this and it will still search out everything you need for whatever deck you're trying to play. Now this 3 evo cost is a little steep. However, it does offset with this next part, your turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into a card with Archangel or Fallen Angel in its trait, reduce the memory cost of the Digivolution by 2. So it costs you basically 1 extra memory than a normal level 4 would. But next turn, or immediately after you Digivolve one of your angels on top of this, it reduces that by 2. So 1 extra now, save you 2 later, right? So basically it's like a +1 memory is what it kind of comes out to be. So that's really cool. I like that. It just works out phenomenally for this deck. One of the best interactions is turn 1, you go whatever kind of rookie you want, and then you go gatomon on top of that rookie to pass turn. Next turn, your opponent puts you to 1, you raise up your gatomon, evo that angel for 1 evo cost, put you to 0, and you got your level 5 on field, and then you can hard play that what other level 5 you need, and then trigger the gatomon inheritable that lets you then DNA digivolve on turn 2. Okay, that's what's so powerful about this gatomon, is it allows you to go into masquerade on turn 2. I think that's just phenomenal. Jumping back here, we got alomon. This is just a vanilla. It just kind of fits into that strategy of being able to evo on top of either. So if you're for whatever reason, if you say you want to run a purple baby, but you want to run like a big yellow package, but you just really want that purple baby, this could work for that. But I think in general, what most people are doing is just kind of like running purples that can evo on top of purple babies anyways, and so that just kind of makes more sense to me, since all your level 4s can evo on top of yellow or purple anyways. So just, I don't think needing a yellow rookie that can specifically evo on top of purple babies is too important, but it is here if you need it. So just kind of keep that in mind. Gatomon we already went over. Next we got the Angelomon. So for the most part in this strategy, your level 5 that you evo will pretty much always be purple, and then the one you want to hard play most of the time is going to be yellow. So that's kind of how the strategy works. So first up we got Angelomon on play. One of your opponent's Digimon gains security attack -2 until the end of your opponent's turn. That's okay. A lot of people are going for the Magna Angelmon that gives you recovery. This can also be pretty nice though. You throw this on a Ligermon that attacks twice. That stops both attacks. If they want to evo into something else, it still stops any attacks that they do. Magna Angelmon is only going to give you essentially one buffer from them swinging at you, whereas this Angelmon could be 2, 3. Depending on the turn that they had planned out, they could go swing 2 Ligermons, evo into a dragon mode, suspend the duo tamer, swing again with the dragon mode, and then go blitz Omnimon on top of that. This one Angelmon could essentially stop 4 potential attacks if over Magna Angelmon, which is only going to buffer 1. So I think this is still a good include. Also, it has the inheritable of security attack +1 while you have a purple Digimon in play. And pretty much everything that evos on top of this Angelmon in this deck will be purple and yellow. So you'll always have that security attack +1. I think that's actually really underrated. This deck doesn't have a whole lot of punch power besides just like single nickel and diming your opponent's security one just little check at a time. So that security attack +1 could really help speed things along. For sure. All right, Masquerade we already covered. Next we got Ghostmon, a new purple rookie for us. Opponent's turn while you have a yellow Digimon in play. This Digimon gains blocker. That's pretty awesome. 0 evo cost rookie blocker. Even hard playing this out, the opponent just doesn't expect there to be blockers sometimes, and like that's kind of just a neat card. I don't mind this at all. 0 evo cost, 3 play cost rookie. I mean, that's some pretty standard stats up here, and then having blocker. It's super easy to trigger in this deck just because there's so many duo colors and just yellows in general that we're playing. Yeah, not a bad one. Not a bad one at all. Next we got this Tsukaimon. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Angel, Archangel, and Fallen or Fallen Angel in its traits among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. It's a 1-for-1, right? You hard play it, you get to add 1 card. If it was like 2 cards, like 1 of each, pick 2 of the following and then add 1 of each, I think that would have been really nice, but it's just adding a single copy of. It's okay. On play effects, where you can get them. It's not a bad searcher for the deck, for sure, if you really go heavy on the angels. Next, we got Witchmon. So it's a security Digimon, so it plays out of security after it gets hit, and then on play, return 1 purple level 5 or lower Digimon card from your trash to your hand. Not bad. Purple is really good about recycling from trash. It can do it anyways already pretty well. I'm not like overly thrilled about it. A level 5 or lower Digimon from your trash. Maybe if I could add back Masquerade, I'd be a little bit more inclined to use it. I think this is just a good target to bring back your level 5s that you might have already used up. It's okay. I think there's better choices though for your level 4s for this deck. And then we got Wizardmon, which is just another duo color, which is great. Being able to fulfill whatever role you need. Particularly, I like that he can evo on top of purples. purples or yellows, so you can mix and match your rookies, which I'm a big fan of in this deck. If you see my Masquerade build, being able to run yellow rookies and purple rookies, and then all my level 4s can evo on top of yellow or purple. That was my goal. And this just kind of helps facilitate that. 2 evo costs, not too bad compared to both of the other level 4s that can do that, which are both 3 evo costs. So that looking at that black gatomon from the main set. So yeah, he's not bad. He's not a bad vanilla there to help get the job done. Next we got Bastemon here. So on play, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. Okay, that's okay. But it's like the only good on play level 5. So 6 play costs. 7,000 DP actually kind of is a bummer. I think the 7,000 DP is honestly why this card isn't used in most builds, because it doesn't combo with cards like Flame Hellscythe. If you'll notice, both of our angels here are 6,000. Flame Hellscythe lets us play a 6,000 DP or less yellow or purple from trash. So that's where you get that really good value of 6,000 DP or less level 5s. Those are going to be your big targets, whereas Bastemon does not. So kind of a bummer there. But like I said, most of your builds, you're going to want to evo into a purple level 5 and then hard play a yellow level 5 to pass turn. So just kind of build with that intention. I think the yellows have the best on play effects, and then all the purples have the best when evolving effects. So just kind of build for that, and you should be fine. Next is the Lady Devimon, 3 evo cost on top of either color. When digivolving, you may trash 1 card in your hand to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 yellow and 1 purple card with Angel, Archangel, or Fallen Angel in their traits to your hand. Place the remaining cards on the bottom of the deck in order, or in any order. This is what I was kind of talking about the Sukaimon. I wish the Sukaimon let us add 1 yellow and 1 purple of each of these. Or, you know what I mean, like a combination of these. So reveal the top 3. I mean, that's a pretty solid searcher. Now, keep in mind, this isn't like the old Lady Devimon. You have to trash first, and then you get to do your search. So you got to be able to discard before that, before you add off of it. So I do like the old Lady Devimon a little bit more, because it's just like, okay, draw 1 for Evo, and then draw 2 more, and then trash 2. So I get some good trash setup after I've already added to hand, which is pretty important, because Masquerade being able to pick something out of trash and putting it in security, I like to be able to add stuff first and then discard, so that way I have a good selection to choose from. This has got to do it beforehand. Still not bad though. 6,000 DP is right on the money for Flame Hellscythe. So very brilliantly planned deck, I must say. And then the Inheritable, all of your yellow Digimon gain retaliation. Honestly, I think I've missed that. All of your yellow Digimon gain retaliation. That could definitely be abused for sure. Very interesting inheritable there. I definitely thought it was only the one that evoed on top of it. All your yellow stuff. That could get really wild with your rookie. So even more of a reason to run some yellow rookies in there, just because they're little bombs waiting to happen. Next is Junomon. I'm not a big fan of Junomon here. I know some people have been doing builds with her, but I just think Ophanimon is a better secondary mega, which Ophanimon is a super rare in the main set. So this is just an uncommon out of a starter deck. So it kind of makes sense that Ophanimon should be better. But same thing, 3 evo cost on top of either color. Retaliation on a mega, I never really like it. It's a little bit of comfort, I guess. I can leave it suspended and my opponent really wants to swing over it. They're going to have to lose their own stuff. I guess that's okay. But I like my megas to be a little bit more offensive or just powerful, like controlling wise. And then when digivolving, trash the top 3 cards of your deck, then return 1 Digimon card from your trash to your hand. Like, okay, I get a mill and then I get to add to hand. I'd rather just get a play. Like, restrict me to like level 4 or 3 on play, something like maybe not Creepymon, but like an Anubismon, right? Anubismon getting to play it directly to the field. I don't know, something a little bit better. I think I'll stick to Ophanimon as the secondary mega. Next, we got a new removal card. This is great in this deck. It's great in security control. It's just a very, very good card. 8 play cost removal. Main, place one of your opponent's Digimon face down at the bottom or top, at the top or bottom of your opponent's security stack. If you do, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. You'll pretty much always want to place the card on the bottom. It doesn't matter how much DP it has. Put it on the bottom. Trash the unknown card, because the unknown card could be another chaos degradation. And you're like, oh, I'm going to swing in and clear that whatever. I want to swing on my rookie, right, and then clear that thing, and then I swing in with my mega, and then the mega hits this. Like, you don't want to do it that way. And then security effect, you may place one of your opponent's Digimon face down at the top or bottom of its owner's security stack. No trashing on this one, but again, it is a form of removal, and it dodges a lot of the anti-destruction sort of effects. So it can't be return to hand, it can't be bottom decked, it can't be destroyed, like all those kind of effects, like Omnimon, the Blitz Omnimon. This gets around that. I think that's really powerful. Even gets around stuff like in X Antibody, Doru Greymon can't be reduced and can't be destroyed. So yeah, this just dodges all of that. So very, very powerful new form of removal. Something good for purple. Purple has definitely been struggling on removal. Trump Sword only being able to hit unsuspended things. Fly Bullet only being able to hit level 6 and below. Like, they had no good level 7 removal, like reliable level 7 removal. So this is going to be a good way to get around it. Now, this is a duo color. Keep that in mind. So you got to have yellow and purple on field to play it. Now, you can have just a single duo color, or one of each, so whatever the case may be. Next, we got Darkness Wave. 1 play cost, trash the top 3 cards of your deck. Then if you have a yellow Digimon in play, return 1 yellow or purple Digimon card from your trash to your hand. I don't think this card's going to see much value right now. Next, in EX2, when we start seeing the Beelzemon decks, this card will see a whole lot more play then, because they get tons of effects when they go straight from deck to trash. So you'll see a lot more play next set with this. But right now, not a big fan of it. So let's go ahead and jump over to our next starter deck. Starter deck 9 here. This is going to be our Pyldramon starter deck. First up, we got Aminomon. While you have a blue Digimon in play, this Digimon gets 1000 DP. Not a fan of it. I mean, I guess it's another green baby, but I think even there's better greens out there. This is really only good in a duo color deck, and I think there's just better cards out there. Cards that draw you cards are usually going to be better for you, especially in a deck like this. This is a very fast-paced deck, so you need to be able to just speed through as much as your deck as possible and get into your combo pieces and win. Like, you need to be winning in like 5 turns or less with this deck, because if your opponent sets up and gets a established board, they'll probably going to just take that game. You got to be able to outpace them with this deck. First up, we got the vmon here. A new vmon on play. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with free in its traits among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards on your deck in any order. I like this one more than the new main set vmon. The main set vmon reveals 4 instead of 3, but it only adds a duo color. This being a free type, like, searches out your whole deck. If you're playing a Pyldramon deck, it adds all your Vmons, so all your rookies it can add, all your level 4s it can add, all your level 5s it can add, and all your level 6s it can add. So very, very powerful card. This is absolutely a 4 of in your Pyldramon decks. Next, we got a new Betamon, just a regular, not a Madoki. Can Evo on top of either color. It's just a vanilla. Honestly, I think in a Pyldramon deck, you're pretty much going to be only running Vmons. There's so many Vmons out there, and they're all really, really good. So you can just run all Vmons and be completely, like, covered. This deck, you're going to be running Ligermon as your 3rd level 4. So having all Vmon targets for Ligermon to Evo on top of will be a must. So he's okay. He's just, I think there's just going to be so many good cards out there for Pyldramon that he's not really needed. Next, we got an X Vmon here. Can Evo on top of either color, blue or green, for play cost. Or when you would play this Digimon card from your hand, you can, if you have a green Digimon in play, reduce its play cost by 1. So not too bad. I wish there was like duo color level 3s, and then you could like play him out for super cheap. He's still not a bad card. 3 play cost level 4 is not nothing too bad there. When attacking, if you have a green Digimon in play, this Digimon gets 1000 DP for the turn. Now, in a green focused deck, he's actually not too bad, because giving that DP buff, typically your green Digimon, your level 5s and level 6s have piercing, so having a DP buff with those isn't too bad. I don't know any green builds, though, that are going to be using blue support cards, though, so that's really interesting that he can do that. But I mean, hey, if you just need a green, or if you need, like, I don't know, a blue to DNA Digivolve into a level 5 for a green that's not dinobeam or Pyldramon, that might be a good go grabber for you. Next, we got Ligermon, the man of the hour here. So 4 Evo cost, normally blue or green, but he also has the DNA Digivolve mechanic, just like we talked about with Masquerade. So 0 Evo cost if you DNA Digivolve. So when Digivolving, when DNA Digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less to the bottom of their owner's deck. Originally, I was just kind of thinking this as 6,000 DP or less. Okay, so that's like blockers. All those level 4 blockers, we can just send them to the bottom of the deck, and then we can attack twice, right? Because his next effect is when attacking once per turn, unsuspend this Digimon. So you can attack twice with him. So he's really, really speedy. But then I got to think about it. 6,000 DP or less, wait a minute. That's all those Masquerade level 5s. If the opponent ever leaves their level 5s just sitting there and they haven't gone into Masquerade yet, do everything in your power to get a Ligermon on-field DNA Digivolved and send that sucker to the bottom of the deck. You set them back that far, that is going to have huge amounts of power to it. Okay, so that would be just the most devastating play ever. So keep that in mind when playing against Masquerade decks. If they leave those level 5s unattended, just smoke them. So yeah, unsuspend this Digimon. So he can attack twice. If you've seen our Ligermon deck profile, you know that putting the vmon with jamming as the inheritable underneath him is very powerful. So attacking twice with jamming as an inheritable is really, really good. So that's why most decks are referring to it as a Ligermon Turbo rather than an actual Imperial Dramon deck, just because the Ligermon is so good. But speaking of Imperial Dramon, we have a new Dragon mode, 4 Evo cost, level or on blue or green. This is pretty common for Imperial Dramons. They've always been kind of steep on the Evo costs. That's just how they are. But this one, no reducing Evo cost on this one, but they do make up for it with an insanely powerful effect of when Digivolving, you may play 1 level 4 or lower blue Digimon card and or 1 level 4 or lower green Digimon card from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying their memory costs. So you go into your Ligermon, swing to ice, Evo into Dragon mode here, play out those level 4s that you use to DNA Digivolve, and then you can have those set up for next turn to DNA Digivolve with, or if it's still on your turn, you can immediately DNA Digivolve them again into another Ligermon and attack 2 more times. So very powerful card. He just kind of keeps the train going. You just run a couple Dragon modes just to keep the chain and train going on the Ligermons, just swinging and swinging and swinging and swinging. He's also green, blue and green, right? But the funny part about this whole deck is that with these duo colors, you can actually use cards like Hidden Potential Discovered to reduce the Evo cost of these down to 0. So reducing Dragon Mode's Evo cost down to 0, and then getting those level 4s out to DNA Digivolve into Ligermon is very powerful. All right, for our greens here, we got our opponent's turn while you have a blue Digimon in play, game blocker. So same thing as the ghostmon that we saw, just a nice little generic support card that you can just kind of toss in. If you're using green, now he does not have the ability to Evo on top of blue or green babies, so he only Evos on top of green. So unfortunately, there's just not that many great green babies to use. So then I think because of that, because you're going to be using blue babies in this deck, he kind of loses his value, I think. You're not going to see him too much in this deck. And again, maybe there's like a really cool green build that uses like a couple blue things that might be really cool. Like I said, like he could go really great with his vmon here, using them together. So they'd both be 3 play costs. That'd be kind of neat. But we do have a Wormmon that can Evo on green or blue, which is very important for this deck. No main effect, but has the inheritable of end of your turn, you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play into a Digimon card in your hand by paying its DNA Digivolution cost. So this is just like your Salamons. This is exactly the same as your Salamon. The only difference, though, I think the big part is with the Masquerade deck, when you do that ability to DNA Digivolve, you get out Masquerade. That gives you the ability to possibly recover. It gives you the ability to possibly play something out of security. Any on-play effects from that level 5 that you might play. The Masquerade then getting able to pop something. If you played out Lucimon, that's a double pop there. Like, that's tremendous value. Even if you pass turn, it's okay, because I'm going to get really good value out of it. With the Wormmon, though, if I pass turn, I'm not going to get that much value out of it, right? I'm going to get a little bit of value. I'm going to go into a Ligermon or dinobeam, and I might get a little bit of value. The Ligermon to be able to remove, or the dinobeam to be able to stun something. Like, it's got some value there and some utility, but I don't think enough. Also, a lot of our Evo targets don't want to Evo on top of this. We want to hard play our greens to DNA Digivolve. So that's where the Stingmon comes in play. 4 play cost. This is just like our XVmon. Why you would play this card from your hand if you have a blue Digimon in play, reduce its play cost by 1. So typically this will be your hard play, and then you DNA Digivolve. So hard play for 3. If you have a memory fixer on field like Davis, your golden DNA Digivolve into Ligermon. So you're right at 0 and then attack twice with your Ligermons. You know, so you're keeping it on your turn. That's the big benefit of this deck, is keeping it on your turn when you DNA Digivolve so you can immediately attack. Passing turn, then DNA Digivolving, not so good, because you don't want your opponent removing your Ligermon before you can even attack with it. Next, we got Sneemon here, so security Digimon, so you can play it out of security, and then on play, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. That's very green. Something gets hit in security, and it suspends the opponent's Digimon. Like, that's like half their option cards do that, you know? So that's, you know, it's neat. It's another way to get a free green body on field if you don't want to play the Stingmons for whatever reason. You know, this is kind of neat for that, but it, you know, it relies on your opponent swinging in security and giving it to you. If you're just trying to go into Ligermon on your own turn, and this is your relying target for green, that's not very good. So it's neat, but maybe not in this deck. Maybe in some sort of other green deck, this might see some more play. Just a very interesting security Digimon. Next, we got Dinobeam on here. So we got another DNA Digivolve. So 4 Evo cost normally, or 0 for DNA. But the main part is, when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So that's just, even if you 4 Evo cost, you still get to get that part. Ligermon doesn't get anything like that. When you Evo normally on Ligermon, you don't get to use its clear ability. You still get your double attack with him, but not his when Digivolving. You have to DNA Digivolve Ligermon to get his when Digivolving effect. So when Digivolving, yeah, you get your suspend opponent's Digimon. When DNA Digivolving, that Digimon doesn't unsuspend during its owner's next unsuspend phase. I hate that part about it, though. So suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and then that specific one that you suspended can't unsuspend. You can't pick something else and have that not being able to suspend. Or if all your opponent's stuff is already suspended, then you can't use this to keep something from unsuspending it. But like, by that way it's worded there, is once it's suspended, if you don't do it yourself with this effect, you can't make it not be able to unsuspend. So I hate that. That's a bit of a bummer for sure. And then has the inheritable of this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP for the turn, for each of its colors. Sorry, on your turn. Like, that's not too big a deal. You know, the level 6s that are evoing on top of this are already pretty big beat sticks anyway, so that 1000 DP isn't that big a deal. I mean, it turns your dragon mode into 14,000, which can swing over Mastamon, so I guess that's kind of relevant a little bit. But most people are use like 2 Dinobeamons and then 4 of the Ligermon, because if Ligermon attack twice, remove threats off field, very powerful for sure. Next, we got just a generic level 5, green, 2 Evo, 6 play cost, 7000 DP. Nothing special, really. No special stats or anything worthy of talking about. And then the secondary mega you have in this deck is Grand Kawagomon, 3 Evo cost. 3 Evo cost, green, level 6. That's not bad. Security attack plus 1 built in. Don't need to meet any sort of special stipulations. That's pretty cool. When Digivolving, this Digimon gets plus 4000 DP for the turn, so he's 15,000. If I had a good way to give him piercing, a good reliable way to give him piercing, he actually wouldn't be a bad Grand Kawagomon. Just in general, not a bad Grand Kawagomon. Next, we got our option cards. Mega Death. This card is great. 5 play cost. Main, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to its owner's hands. See, that's how Dinobeamon should read. It doesn't have to be the same target, so I can suspend one thing and then bounce something else. That's great. Now it is to the owner's hand, so it's very blue. It's not bottom decking. I love when we get a bottom deck cards, but still not bad. 5 play cost is so cheap for removal. I mean, most other colors would love to have a 5 play cost removal option. Now, again, it is dual color, so you have to meet both color requirements to be able to play it. And then security, activate this card's main effect. That's phenomenal. So say the Mega swings in and does like a whole bunch of security checks, and they've got the rookie to like steal the game, right? That's what they're going to go for game with. So you can use the first part to suspend that rookie so it can't swing for game, and then you can go ahead and bounce that Mega with the second effect that hit this in security. What a fantastic card. Absolutely one of the best removal options, I think, in the game. Just the play cost is so cheap, and the genericness of it is also phenomenal. And then next we have Hell Masquerade. I honestly don't even remember what this does. It's been a bit. 1 play cost, one of your Digimon gets plus 2,000 DP for the turn. Then if you have a blue Digimon in play, one of your Digimon gains piercing for the turn. I mean, that's not bad. We're talking about needing piercing for your Grand Kawagamon. You know, that's a pretty good combo to use with it. Now, again, you need that blue Digimon in play. I hate that. Or you can just get 2,000 DP if you don't have a blue. If you do have a blue, you also gain piercing. You know, for dual colors, that's not too bad. I think in that game where I only use the cards out of the starter deck, I got a little bit of value out of this, getting that piercing, being able to clear a target, and then also swing over. Like with Dinobeam, that makes sense. It makes sense why Dinobeamon's in the picture, because his effect will suspend something, and then you play the Hell Masquerade to give him 2,000 DP, and then he can swing over it with piercing, so that makes sense. And then security, just add to hand. A lot of other security effects we're seeing later for green is suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and add to hand. I love those. Those feel really, really good. Just that blank add to hand is just okay. You know, it's not like the end all be all, but it's not bad. But that is the final card for the 2 decks here. If you have any questions on any of those, or if I read something or did not understand correctly, please put it in the comments below and let me know about it, because I hate giving out the wrong information. Okay, and if it needs to be corrected, I will definitely pin that in the comment section.